and program or configure your network adapter. These are the steps that you're going to need in order to program any controller within the Chicago Pneumatic and Pneumatech group. So what we're going to start off with is, if you reach out to Chicago Pneumatic and Pneumatech and you need to program, you've had the ability to program in the past, and basically what's happening is you need to update everything to program because it's been 6, 7 months, 1 month, whatever the case may be. Ultimately, what do I do to get it going? So what happens is we have to email you some zip drives of Speci5 and data core files, and then also a license key and then adapter. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start with the steps that you would need to take to get the program on there, and then the things that would need to happen in order for it all to work simultaneously. So at the end of the day, right now, we're currently running Speci5 5.4.0.10. Okay, so ultimately, at the end of the day, you need to be a little organized, whether it's in your documents or on your hard drive, on your computer, whatever the case may be. You need to just make sure that you have that all in one location, okay? So on mine, I have it under C drive, and then I have it under a folder called CP Speci5 Modify. Okay, so ultimately we're going to email you a zip file that says Speci5 5.4.0.10. Okay, save that wherever you have on your computer. You're going to extract it, and then you're going to hit the execute button. Okay, once you hit the execute button, it's actually going to install it onto your computer. Okay, from there, you can install or right click on it after it's installed and do a shortcut and then drop it onto your desktop like I have up here. So now you have the program installed. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is going to be, you need the data files or the core files, the data core files, in order for it to work. So you got the program, now you need the core. So currently, it's going to be the same idea. We're going to send you a core file zip, okay? So this one, the files that we're currently running on right now are 6997. If you have 6997, you're good. If not, we're going to actually send you this zip file and save it underneath your CP Speci5 folder on your computer, extract it, and then hit execute. Once you hit execute, it finds Speci5, the program on your computer already, and takes these core files and actually puts it into there. So now you can actually open the program. Okay. Now you've downloaded Speci5, you've hit the execute button, you've downloaded the core files, you've hit the execute button, and you go to open it. Once you go to open it, it's for the first time, it's going to actually ask you for a license key. So this one just actually expired, but that's okay. You have to reach out to Chicago Pneumatic Technical Support or your local regional sales manager to get the current license key. It's good for every 3 months, I believe. So eventually, at some point in time, you're just going to have to request it. Once you have it, ultimately copy, paste it in, and then you're good to go. Once you paste it in and hit the go button, Speci5 is actually then going to open up onto your computer. Okay, so at that point, within your little organization here or your folder, you got Speci5, and then you're going to want to put Mark 5 or data files. Ultimately, you could just go with data files, have a core file folder, a data file folder, and that's really all you need. You'll have the Speci5 one after you extract it, of course, but that's fine. The next step that we're going to do is, because now that you've downloaded and installed Speci5, you got your core files, we're actually going to send you the data files that you need to program the compressors. So here under mine, for example, I have, these are the data files for the GA 7 through 75 VSD Plus. This one here is multi-brand 7.5 through 37 kW, 7.5 through 37. For the touch, multi-brand Air Logic ES 4000 Advanced. Okay, they're just for ranges. So I just have them categorized like this because that's how the file looks and I know which one to choose. Once you open them up, you don't really know what they are because it's just a number. So it's kind of important to keep this organization. So documents, specify, data files or databases, okay? And these are the databases that we have. So now you got the program, you got your databases, and you want to control, you want to connect. Now, we have been using, or you've seen talk about this USB to Ethernet adapter. Okay, so we have some configurations and some instructions here. Okay, it's pretty simple stuff, but I'm just going to actually show you how to do it because the instructions here are for the older versions of Windows. While it hasn't changed, if you're not real computer savvy, it kind of can get a little confusing. Okay, so these are the instructions. Okay, it just goes through. And this is for Windows XP. And then it's got Windows 7. And of course, we're on Windows 10. Does not cover. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go to, keeping in mind that we have those instructions, right? I'm just going to go to Control Panel on my computer. I'm going to take my network adapter or my USB to Ethernet adapter. I'm going to plug it into my computer. Okay, once I go here, I want to go to, there's a couple different ways you can do it, of course. But I am just going to go to Network and Sharing. Once you go to Network and Sharing, okay, you're going to go Change Adapter Settings. Now, change adapter settings, you want to be specifically on which one that you are changing here. Now, mine I already went through and did. So that's why it says Speci5 adapter. So when you go to first plug it in, it's just going to say Ethernet. Okay, so because like currently I have Ethernet 2, 3, 5, and then this one. So either way, if you're not quite sure which one it is, from this screen, unplug it, plug it back in, it'll pop up just like this. So mine's plugged in, I'm going to unplug it. It's going to disappear, right? If it wasn't called Speci5 adapter, I'm going to plug it back in and then it's going to pop up. I'm going to know which one I actually need to work with, right? Because now my computer has actually found it. So once you find it, right click, and you're just going to want to go to Properties. Now, the reason that we're modifying or making changes to this adapter is that way it's default set to actually communicate with our controllers. When this isn't done, it actually makes for quite the headache in trying to program controllers because we can't communicate. All right, so from here, typically all of these boxes are going to be set. We want to uncheck all of them and only leave the TCP IPv4 version 4. We want to leave that one connected or selected. It'll be highlighted and then we click Properties. From there, you're going to have to manually type in the 192.168.100.200 IP address. Okay. So it'll say obtain automatically. We want to remove that. Select use the following, type in here, the 255 will pop up automatically after you're done, and then click OK. Once you're done here, you're just going to hit close. And then for my personal factor, what I like to do is I like to rename it. And at this point, that's when I renamed it Speci5 adapter. That way, when I plug it into one laptop or any laptop, whether I have one technician or multiple technicians, I actually know specifically which adapter I need to find, okay? So now that one, we have configured our USB to Ethernet adapter. We can close out of this, close out of your network sharing. Now we can go to Speci5. Now, once Speci5's open, okay, and if you see this screen, it means that you got your data cores installed, you got your license key installed, and you're actually working. Typically, what it's going to do is I'm going to remove these out of here just so I can show you. So these databases are those data files that I was talking about. You can have multiple in there, it doesn't matter. It just, the more you have, the bigger selection you have to choose from when you're programming. So this is where that organization comes into play. So when you first open it up, your databases are going to be blank. So you need to add them in there. So I'm going to go to add, and then I need to find that folder. Now it instantly went to my folder because I've been doing this today. So it knew where to go. Okay. So actually it's on the wrong folder. So this works out well for training purposes. So mine's on my hard drive. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my hard drive, go through the steps and how to find it. So I'm going to go to my documents on my hard drive because we're cloud-based now. Okay, Speci5 modify. Here's my data files, right? And here's all my databases. So we're doing a touch controller, we'll say. So I go into my touch folder. Here's my program, and I hit open. Now what that does is it takes that database for that 3 through 37 kW and uploads it into Speci5 for us. So now we have the ability to program that controller. And here it is. So now we have a program in here. It's just got to get done thinking. Typically, I have 3 to 4 databases in there. Once you have them in there, you're pretty much good to go. You don't really need to add and remove that often because they cover a range. So from there, here, the next thing would be your IP settings, that network card. This is that Ethernet adapter that we just modified, right? Mine's not ready because it's not plugged in, which is fine, but I can find it here. Okay, so this is where we want to make sure, and that's why I renamed mine Speci5 adapter. So I can click that, and from there we can actually go into downloading and programming. So that's not part of this video though. That's in my other videos for ES4000 standard, advanced, and touch. Start with this video, then go advanced, then go standard, advanced, and touch, and it's progressive, and you'll be good to go from there. So if you have any questions, let us know, reach out. You can contact us at 877-861-2722. And if you have any questions, just give us a call. Thank you.